The topic of the short story is The School for Sympathy. This topic was written by Edward Verral Lucas. First, we see about the introduction about the author. Edward Verral Lucas was born on 1868 and died on 1938. He was an English humorist, essayist, playwright, biographer, publisher, poet, novelist, and short story writer. Lucas began his work at the age of 16, apprenticed to a bookseller. After that, he turned to journalism and worked on the local paper in Brington and then on the London evening paper. He was commissioned to write a biography of Bernard Barton. Then Lucas joined the staff of the humorous magazine Punch in 1904. He was a prolific writer, most celebrated for his short essays. He also produced verses, novels, and plays. So this is a little bit about the author. Now see the introduction of the story. So in this topic, The School for Sympathy, it was written by E.V. Lucas. So we have the theme of thoughtfulness, appreciation, equality, sympathy, and humanity. Each child is given a role to play on a daily basis. Some are blind, lame, or dumb, and deaf. This leads to their careers being more thoughtful than would be useful for a person to be, and if anything, appreciative of the fact that they have not been struck down with a disability. So in this topic he tells about the disability of the childhood days. In this topic the author speaks about Miss Beam's school. She is the main character of the story. The writer had heard a lot about Miss Beam's school, but he had never visited it. One day he got an opportunity to visit it. On entering the campus, he saw on one except a girl of 12. Her eyes were covered with a bandage. A little boy of about 8 was guiding her between the flower beds in the garden. The girl stopped. She evidently asked her guide about the writer. The boy seemed to describe the writer to her. Then they passed on. The writer went into the building and met Miss Beam, the head of the school. Miss Beam was middle-aged, authoritative, kind, and understanding. The writer had heard a lot about Miss Beam's school for sympathy. The author asked her questions about her way of teaching. She told him that the teaching methods in her school were very simple. The students were taught spelling, arithmetic, and writing. So this was a technique she used, Miss Beam. Then the author told Miss Beam that he had heard a lot about the originality of her teaching method. Miss Beam told him that the real aim of her school was to make the students thoughtful. She wanted to make them helpful and systematic citizens. She added the parents sent their children to her school gladly. She then asked the writer to look out of the window. As the author also saw the window, there was a girl called Millie. And also the author saw some beautiful grounds and many jolly children. He was pained to find that all the children were not healthy and active. He told Miss Beam about the girl with her eyes bandaged, whom he saw as he came and looking out of the window. Now he saw two more with their eyes bandaged. He also saw the little girl with the clutch. She seemed to be crippled. Miss Beam laughed and said that she was not really lame. Those with eyes covered in bandages were not really blind. The one with the crutch and a lame day. The others were having their blind day. So this was answer given by the Miss Beam. During the blind day, the students will cover their eyes completely. On that particular day, they would experience the life of a blind person. Likewise, the lame day also celebrated by the students. The students will tie their legs up. They will have to walk using a clutch. This day was implemented to teach the students the difficulties faced by the people who cannot walk properly. Likewise, the dumb day, the students are expected to be mute. The challenge here is that they will have to remain quiet and exercising their willpower. During the injured day, the students will tie their arms up through an arm sling. Again, this day teaches the students the discomfort faced by the people who have lost their arms or those who are injured. So like that, these things are practiced in Beam School. The author also very much astonished of seeing these things celebrated. Miss Beam told the author that the blind day was very difficult for the children, but some of the children feared the dumb day and others also. The author described the surroundings of her. He felt that as a guide to the blind, one had to be thoughtful. He was full of praise for Miss Beam's system of education, which made the students sympathetic and kind. The writer himself had become 10 times more thoughtful. At last, the author wants to conclude this topic. The lesson gives an idea of role of school education in our life. Miss Beam was running a school. The name of her school was School for Sympathy. It was different from other schools. The students were taught spelling, adding, subtracting, multiplying, and division. Students had a blind day, a lame day, a deaf day, a maimed day, and a dumb day in the course. They learned to understand the problems of handicapped. This developed feelings of sympathy in children. They learned to help the handicapped kindly. It suggests that education should make children good human beings and kind citizen. So with this, I conclude this topic. Thank you.